I think I came and asked you questions like what you were doing and like the time, whatever was convenient for you, and you got mad. And those are like the 3 basic rules that I go by. So it was like hours of trauma for me. So in a former video that we made, we discussed what makes a good dom. So I thought today we could talk about the 3 things that make a good sub.
Yes. That is attentiveness, expressiveness, and harmony.
Because there have been times where I wasn't super attentive to your needs and wants, or even my own desires or the things that I wanted as well, because I didn't really realize or know. So there's a story about how you asked me a simple question. You asked me if I wanted to see you that night. It was daytime, and you asked me if I wanted to see you that evening or the next day. You're on a train shuttle, not even the train, because the train was shut down for construction.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been on a shuttle bus and the trains aren't working, it takes forever and it's a nightmare, and there's lots of people, and it's not a very great environment, especially for someone who doesn't really like to travel that much. And
yeah.
So yes, you were on the train and you asked me, do I want to see you that night or the next day? And I really wanted to say both. I wanted to tell him I wanted to see him that night and the next day, or stay the night with him, or him stay with me. But I didn't. Instead, I think I came and asked you questions like what you were doing and like the time, whatever was convenient for you, and you got mad, which
I asked a simple question.
I didn't answer.
You came back with like 30 minutes of details on your weird thought processes or something.
Right. And I didn't answer the question directly. I didn't state my needs.
Well, you didn't pay attention to the question, or if you did, you chose to ignore it after paying attention to it, which is basically like not paying attention to it.
Right? Yeah. Well, when you asked me a direct question, instead of answering, I fucked around and...
Well, that's expressive, like expression. So, like, not only were you inattentive to the question...
I wasn't expressing.
Yeah, or you were expressing everything but what needed to be expressed. Either way, it's bad expression.
Right. So, I was not paying attention to the question that you asked me, and also what you were going through, because you were on the train or on the shuttle bus, which is very annoying.
Yeah, I needed a quick answer.
And you needed I'm coming now or I'm going home.
Yeah.
So he ended up going home because I didn't answer the question. I got really upset. But instead of even telling you I was upset, I was infuriated at my house, or in the Airbnb at the time. And I think later on I asked you what was wrong, what happened.
How come you turned around and
I was like, why didn't you come over? I wanted to see you. And you were like, because you didn't answer my question. And it was that simple, because I didn't pay attention, and it was totally my fault. And once I finally thought about it, and I realized, well, maybe I should just answer the fucking question.
But this goes for so many subs. Dom isn't asking for much a lot of the time. They're asking for a straight, concise answer.
Right. And I know as submissive, sometimes we want to just please. But if we just answer the fucking question...
That will please.
That's
the most pleasing thing. I need a clear, concise answer in a very short time. Hopefully my sub will give me a clear, concise answer in a short amount of time. Oh, look, they didn't. I'm strangely displeased.
And then for me to go, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, that just makes it worse.
It does. It really does. So we talked on the phone later that night. And you told me, you explained to me, well, if you had answered my question,
it'd be easy.
Told me what you were feeling, and paying attention that I needed a quick answer now, things would have been smooth. So it was hours of trauma for me. It was hours of I don't know, annoyance for you.
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Or irritating or
Yeah, I mean,
tense.
it was tension between us, and then
it was disharmony.
Disharmony
is what
yes.
it was.
Yes, disharmony.
Which is the third thing, or the third failure in the situation.
Right, because without the first two, you can't have the last.
Yeah, and you create like hours of disharmony.
Right, which I have multiple times. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's kind of funny now. A little bit. Because like when I think about like today, because even this morning, you know, I'm still learning and growing all the time. And even this morning, we had a few minutes where I was inattentive to your needs. So instead of...
And to yourself.
And to myself. Because I was trying to get some stuff done before I left for my dance class, before I needed to get some work done. And instead I was fucking around with jewelry, which I should not have been. And I knew better, but I wasn't. Again, I was being inattentive to what you wanted and what I needed as well. So, but this time, instead of hours and hours and hours,
yes,
it was like
smarter.
4 or 5 minutes where I was like, oh wait, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And I put it away and I apologized right away. And I said...
I started to leave.
Oh yeah, you started to leave.
Just like the bus.
Right.
Or the shuttle or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that time you didn't stop me and like apologize and fix anything. I ended up leaving. Right. This time I started to leave and you were like immediately like, whoa, I made a mistake. My bad. Mm-hmm. I'll be better in the future or whatever.
Yeah.
And you were attentive to the situation and you expressed quickly and immediately and honestly. And it created...
harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was good.
Yeah. And those are like the 3 basic rules that I go by that we have.
Well, they help any sub.
They help any sub, but in our relationship especially, because I don't know, outside of us, makes us happy. Makes you happy. It makes me happy. It makes harmony between us and we get along and there's no tension or trauma or argument or an hour talk outside in the cold.
Yeah, well, just like the Dom video, it's pretty universal stuff. Like, attentiveness applies to, like, every human.
Right.
I mean, like, you could point out any human if they're not being attentive in their work, in their life, in their relationships, things are going to go wrong. I can speak for other relationships because I'm telling you, if you can find me an example of a relationship where attentiveness is not important and neither person needs it, I'll be stunned. But with subs, it's especially important.
Right.
Right? And same with expression and same with harmony. They apply to everyone.
Right.
Or everything.
So I just want to be clear with people that are watching that by being attentive, you mean paying attention to the things that you like or the dominant likes, not necessarily you, but I want to give an example. Like, I know the things that you enjoy, so I make sure that they're done. Like, you like hot coffee, so I try to make sure that your coffee is always warm, even if you're working. I check every so often to make sure it's warm because I pay attention to what you
Yes, and
I
appreciate it. And shout out to Ember Mugs. It's not sponsored, I just love Ember Mugs. But yeah, like attentive to everything, attentive to your own mood and feelings and preferences. If you're not attentive enough to know you want to say both, and then expressive enough to say both, come over both times, then we lose. So like it's not just being attentive to the dom.
It's to yourself as well.
Yeah, and to everything, like details.
Oh, like today, when I had an issue with my son, and instead of holding it in, which in the past I would have done, so that we could play our game and like move along with our day. Instead, today I said to you, this is what's bothering me. This is what happened. Like right away, I told you, and you listened to what I had to say. You gave me a hug, and I felt like so much better because we didn't have any tension between us.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Back to harmony.
Paying attention to how I felt.
And then expressing it to me.
Yeah.
Created.
Harmony.
Right. It happens all the time in every dom sub thing.
And I feel like a lot of submissives think that it's about rules and following directions and being told. And I know that is part of it as well for certain relationships.
But you can't follow rules unless you're attentive to the rules, and then you express when the rules work or don't work, or why you kept to them or why you didn't, or why you went the extra mile with them. So attentive to the rules, expressive about the rules, and then if you follow them, it creates harmony, and if you don't, it creates disharmony. So again, even the rules come back to this more important, more fundamental, more universal thing.
Right, which is expressing or being attentive and expressing yourself. And expressing myself has been, I always thought I was a very expressive person, like that I was really open and can tell people like how I feel. And while it's true to a degree, I didn't realize how much I was holding back.
Yeah, and that's how everyone thinks. Like no one wants to admit that, hey, maybe I'm not great at expressing myself, or hey, there's a lot of room for me to improve here.
Right.
So then you just get a whole globe of people, a whole like group of subs who are failing to express themselves because like the first step is admitting it. Right. Like
yeah, and the more I express myself and I'm honest with myself, the more I can be honest with you. Like today, in the past I wouldn't have told you that. And today it was way easier for me to just look at you and say, you need to know that this is bothering me. Whether I wasn't looking for you to fix it, I wasn't looking for your advice.
I didn't even try to fix it.
I wasn't looking for anything except to tell you how I feel, what was going on, and I needed a hug. And you gave me that, and it felt really good. And we were able to move about our day and have more fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love it. So hopefully that helps all you subs out there. Hopefully it helps somebody.
I hope it helps you to be a better sub, because I know as a submissive, we always want to be the best sub we can be to our dom. But I think that with these three things, that it'll make you a better person in general.
Most brands would beg for subs here, but we won't. Thanks for watching.